Welcome to NeLine. In this quick video I thought I'd tell you what NeLine is and how to use it. So what is NeLine? Well, NeLine is a graphing calculator, kind of like geogebra or desmos. It can plot graphs for single variable functions. So say we'd want to plot a graph of y is equal to x, then we simply type in x. And as you can see, we will get a straight line. We will get a dot that follows our cursor. We can pan in every direction, and we can also zoom out and zoom in on the graph. We can also do numerical approximations. So I've added a bunch of tools here. So you could, for example, choose the area tool, and then you could select a point and draw your cursor, and as you can see, it will estimate the area. Now if I turn down the performance slider that you can see right here, you can see that what it is really doing is drawing a bunch of rectangles, so-called Riemann sums. And that's what basically every tool does here. It does numerical approximations. But we could increase the amount of rectangles, and if we zoom in, we see that the rectangles are really just getting smaller and smaller, and their approximation is getting better and better. We can also increase the number of decimals to get higher precision. We can then double click, and then we will get the final area between A and B to be right between here. You can also type in custom functions. So for example, instead of typing the function right into the input bar here, I could instead, under the function myGraph, type in JavaScript code to return a numerical value based on the input value of x. So I could, for example, return math.sine of x, and this will give us a sine curve. I have inputted a lot of fun other functions, for example the Weierstrass function, which is a non-elementary function, which, if you know from Wikipedia maybe or some other source, it's continuous everywhere but non-differentiable, but you can't differentiate it at any point. And I've added a bunch of fun functions here, so you can just combine this by any crazy function that you can come up with, and you will get a bunch of fun and crazy stuff that will look absolutely hilarious. Now you can also input linear transformations on your graph. So we could, for example, so right here under input linear transformation, we can input a 2x2 matrix. So as you can see here in the first column, we have the basis vector for the x-axis and then the basis vector for the y-axis. So we could, for example, type in I hat or j hat if you use that. Well, then you could scale up the graph by increasing the input for the basis vector ex. And you could input any linear transformation that you want, any share, any scale, any rotation, and you can see how it will affect the entire graph. And when you're done, you can just press reset. Now, not only can this tool graph non-elementary functions and apply linear transformations on it, it can also solve first-order differential equations. So say we would want the antiderivative of the Weierstrass function. Well, in that case, we could just type in the Weierstrass function here under the diff equation function, and as you can see, it will graph the antiderivative of the Weierstrass function by solving the differential equation. Now you will see that there are three different lines. There's a blue line, a green line, and a red line. And the blue line is Euler's method, the green line is the midpoint method, and the red one is the Range-Kutta fourth order standard method. And we could change the step size, and you could see how the graph kind of change, and it's kind of like changing the performance slider. And as you can see, the blue Euler's method starts to deviate more because it's kind of the simplest one. But they are all based on kind of the same principle, which is just approximating the derivative at a certain point and then taking a small step along that derivative. And we could also change the starting positions. So we could, for example, want to start by 10 and 10. And if we move up to 10, 10, then we can see that the graph now starts here. Now there are a bunch of cool differential equations, first order differential equations, ordinary differential equations that you can solve. I have added Newton's law of cooling, radioactive decay. A fun one is logistic growth, so I could just input logistic growth and we will get a logistic growth curve here. And it's kind of fun because you can see kind of how the slope field changes depending on our starting point. So if we move downwards, we can see that the slope field kind of moves this way, and then it's 0 here, and then it moves downwards. And there's a ton of more other stuff that you can do. You can basically use any function right here that I've listed out. You can program your own functions. I put in a bunch of cool functions you can try out. I think they're all kind of super cool. I created my own custom function that I call the Sebastian D Function. Now things can break sometime, but in that case just reload the page and things should be fine. One of my favorite functions is the Sebastian D Function that I made myself, and it's a very interesting function because it's just a lot of bunch of shit combined, really. And it also has this random function which you actually can use in JavaScript, which basically returns a random float number between 0 and 1. And as you can see, it always kind of moves a bit because it kind of has this random value, so it's never really exact, which is kind of fun because it's kind of like superposition in quantum mechanics where the graph exists in multiple states at one time. So yeah, that's super cool, and you can see how it has this super cool kind of appearance to it. But if I remove the random random type, you can see now that it no longer moves like crazy. Now it has a defined shape. And you can do basically any function that you could think of. You can do like if statements, while loops, for loops. You could do sums, multiple multiplications, series, basically anything you could think of. Apply linear transformations. You can do a bunch of numerical approximations. Another really cool one that I didn't show you was I could show you by 1 divided by x. You can also calculate the volume of a solid of revolution. So for example, if I choose a point here, then you could see how it kind of creates a lot of disks and creates this solid of revolution, and it will count up the volume of each disk and then add those up to get the entire volume. And you can also use the surface tool, which basically kind of does the same thing, but instead it estimates the surface area by instead taking the circumference of each disk and then adding those up. And as you can see, you will get the surface area. There are a bunch of other tools here. I could just quickly show you them. This is the difference tool. So if I select a point, and sometimes it will be kind of buggy, I have had problems with that one, but you can just reload. And if we input a function and we use the difference tool again, you can see that it approximates the difference in the x direction, in the y direction, and the total distance, kind of, or the shortest path, the straight line between any 2 points on a graph. It will give us all of those points right here. Then there is the distance tool. Now the distance tool approximates difference between 2 points but along the graph. And if I take down the performance, you can see that all it really does is just draw a bunch of lines. Then it just draws more and more lines to imitate more the look of the graph, to give us the proper length. Then there is the derivative tool. Now the derivative tool just calculates the derivative at every point, and it does this just by the definition of the derivative, by drawing another line with another point that's very close to it. We can just click and get the derivative at x is equal to 1.64 is equal to minus 0.2. I should also mention that we can change the number of decimals that we use right here. So if we do the same thing again, then now we would get a bunch of more decimals. Then there is the limit and continuity tool. Now these are really cool. So basically using the definition of the limit, the epsilon delta definition, by going from the left side, right side, checking if it's within a certain delta that it can reach like any epsilon. Then we could select a point and it will return true if the limit exists at a certain point. So I'm going to put in a non-continuous function like ceil of x. Now ceil of x is a JavaScript function that returns the closest integer to the top. So for example, if you input 0.4, it will return 1 because 1 is the closest integer counting upwards. And so it kind of gets this kind of a staircase shape. And if I select this a point right here, you can see that it will return true because yes, it is continuous right at that point. But if I try to select at this very exact point right here, you'll see that it returns false because there's a gap right here. It's not continuous. If you come from the left side, you'll be at 1, but if you come from the right side, you'll come at 2. And the continuity tool basically does all of this for you, checks limit at a bunch of points, and let's see, and the limit. All right, and sometimes you'll have to bump up the performance because what the continuity tool really does is that it just takes the limit at a bunch of points. So you will have to bump up the performance, and boom, that it finds the points where the graph is not continuous at a certain between a certain interval. So it finds this point and it says no, it's not continuous within this interval. There is also a root function and a turning point function. So if we select 2 points right here, you see that it finds the roots, and if we, it just does this by checking a bunch of points and seeing if they're close to 0 basically. And the turning point tool does basically the same thing, but instead looks for turning points, basically local minima and maxima, and it just does this by also generating a bunch of points and checking whether the derivative is close to 0. And that is probably most of it. There's also the snap tool. As you can see, it just snaps the grid to close whole integers and turning points and stuff like that. And yeah, there's a bunch of other cool stuff here with differential equations. You can input multiple functions just right like this. And if you want to know what of certain function and to change, you can select different functions by clicking on them. So as you can see right now, I have selected a cosine function, but if I click here, I have now selected the tangent hyperbolic function. And I can also evaluate the function at certain points. So if I want to evaluate it at, say, x is equal to 1, you can say that at x is equal to 1, then it's about equal to 0.76. And that's probably most of it, how you can use it. So yeah, feel free to play around. I also, there are some really cool functions right here. Try to solve some differential equations. That is like really cool stuff. And yeah, that's probably most of it. So please play around and see and come up with your own crazy functions. You can code in your own functions. It's just super fun and cool. So yeah.